Dr. Cicero Coimbra, a neurology professor at the University of São Paulo, Brazil, has dedicated over 20 years to researching the connection between vitamin D and autoimmune diseases. He is not only a scientist, but also a pioneer in a groundbreaking treatment method called the Coimbra Protocol, a regimen that uses carefully controlled high doses of vitamin D, enabling over 90% of autoimmune patients to achieve significant remission. This protocol is built on a startling discovery. Many of us, due to genetic factors, suffer from a condition known as vitamin D resistance. This means our bodies cannot effectively use vitamin D even when supplemented at standard recommended levels. If there's one critical truth about vitamin D, you need to know right now, it's that its silent deficiency may be the root cause of a wide range of autoimmune diseases increasingly plaguing the world. The alarming reality is that many of us believe we have sufficient vitamin D levels based on a blood test showing normal results, when in fact the truth is quite the opposite. Dr. Coimbra argues that much of modern medical knowledge about vitamin D is outdated, relying on data from a century ago. This misconception is causing millions to live under a harmful misunderstanding. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, have you ever thought vitamin D was only about bones, joints, and calcium? If so, you're not alone. For decades, most medical guidelines have defined vitamin D primarily as a nutrient that aids calcium absorption. However, research over the past decade reveals that vitamin D impacts over 2,500 genes in the body, particularly those that regulate the immune system. This means that a vitamin D deficiency can impair the immune system's ability to distinguish between harmful bacteria and your own cells, leading it to attack your body instead. The question arises, are warnings about vitamin D toxicity causing unnecessary fear? Dr. Cicero Coimbra asserts that high-dose vitamin D can indeed lead to hypercalcemia, elevated blood calcium levels, if used incorrectly without proper monitoring or complementary nutrients like magnesium, vitamin K2, or zinc. However, the dangers of chronic vitamin D deficiency are far more severe, acting as a silent trap that increases the risk of chronic diseases without people even realizing it. Imagine living in the Stone Age, spending hours under the sun, moving constantly, and drinking from natural streams. Your body would naturally produce vast amounts of vitamin D without any concerns. Today, however, you might sit in an office for 8 hours, cover up with clothing-use sunscreen, and eat processed foods. As a result, the vitamin D you get daily is a fraction of what your ancestors had. Then you wonder why your immune system is weakened, why you're frequently sick, or why chronic symptoms persist. The answer may lie in the sunlight you avoid, and the sufficient vitamin D dose you've been told is enough but is actually inadequate for optimal immune function. It's time to courageously reassess deeply ingrained misconceptions. The first mistake is blindly trusting blood test results to assess vitamin D status. Dr. Coimbra warns that judging vitamin D levels solely by blood concentration is like measuring the water level in a pond to gauge soil moisture. The real battlefield for the immune system is inside cells where vitamin D exerts its biological effects. If you have vitamin D resistance, a normal blood level doesn't guarantee you're truly protected. The second mistake stems from familiar advice, like get 15 minutes of sun daily or drink milk for calcium and vitamin D. Yet no one tells you that over 70% of people today cannot synthesize enough vitamin D from sunlight due to genetics, age, skin color, weight, or environmental factors. Even those exposed to ample sunlight may fail to convert vitamin D into its active form due to deficiencies in magnesium vitamin K2 or because viruses impair vitamin D receptors. A study from the University of California found that certain viruses like Epstein-Barr or cytomegalovirus can freeze vitamin D receptors in cells, rendering supplementation ineffective no matter how much is taken. Moreover, the recommended dietary allowance RDA for vitamin D was established to prevent rickets, not to optimize immune function or protect against modern chronic diseases. This creates a critical gap in our healthcare system. We're maintaining a bare minimum to avoid acute illness, but ignoring the optimal levels needed for thriving and disease prevention. It's like fueling a car just enough to avoid stalling, unaware that you're about to embark on a steep, demanding journey requiring far more fuel. The consequence: an explosion of autoimmune diseases now considered the silent pandemic of the 21st century. Multiple sclerosis, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, type 1 diabetes, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and vitiligo all share a chilling commonality: the immune system fails to distinguish friend from foe. Vitamin D, a key immune-regulating hormone, is often deficient or dysfunctional in these patients. A University of Oxford study found that nearly 100% of multiple sclerosis patients have low active vitamin D levels in their cells, despite seemingly normal blood levels. Through thousands of patient cases, Dr. Coimbra uncovered a shocking truth: many people carry genetic variants that reduce their ability to utilize vitamin D. Even with standard supplementation, their bodies don't respond as expected. He pioneered a treatment model for these individuals using high doses of vitamin D ranging from 60,000 to 200,000 IU daily, combined with a low-calcium diet and supplementation of magnesium, vitamin K2, and zinc, alongside rigorous monitoring. For many, hearing about such high doses raises concerns about toxicity, vascular calcification, or kidney stones. However, Dr. Coimbra and Coimbra Protocol experts emphasize that risks only arise when the protocol is misapplied without proper guidance, regular testing, or complementary nutrients. When done correctly, risks are virtually eliminated, and the benefits are profound. Patients who could barely walk or relied on immunosuppressive drugs have experienced remarkable recoveries within months. These are not just theories, but living proof, with thousands of people across dozens of countries reclaiming their lives by understanding vitamin D's true role. The final and most common mistake is fearing vitamin D toxicity more than its deficiency. We're overly cautioned about toxicity, which is rare, while the widespread silent deficiency affecting millions causes chronic health issues daily. If left unaddressed, what happens? Picture an immune system like a disoriented army elite, but without a map or commander. It starts attacking what's closest: your tissues, glands, and organs. You feel unexplained fatigue, uncontrollable weight loss, patchy hair loss, chronic aches and symptoms no doctor can fully explain. This isn't a distant scenario. It's happening to tens of millions, possibly you or a loved one. The good news: you can change this starting today. Understanding the root cause makes solutions clear and hopeful. It's like discovering why a seed isn't sprouting, not because it lacks potential, but because it lacks light. When that light, vitamin D, is provided correctly, life flourishes again. Dr. Coimbra has proven this over 2 decades with thousands of patients. His Coimbra Protocol isn't just about high-dose vitamin D. It's a rigorous, personalized, science-based system that uses vitamin D as a tool to regulate immune genes, not merely as a supplement. To make this tool safe and effective, 3 elements are essential dose control, calcium absorption management, and complementary nutrients. For patients with vitamin D resistance or chronic autoimmune conditions, doses may range from $60,000 to $200,000, IU daily tailored to individual needs and responses. These are far higher than standard recommendations requiring strict medical supervision, regular testing, and an appropriate diet. A critical aspect is limiting calcium intake. This may sound counterintuitive since vitamin D is known to enhance calcium absorption. However, with high-dose vitamin D, consuming calcium-rich foods like milk, cheese, or yogurt can lead to excess blood calcium causing tissue calcification, kidney stones, or other complications. Thus, reducing dairy and high-calcium foods is a cornerstone of the protocol. Simultaneously, complementary nutrients of vital magnesium, at least 300-400 mg daily vitamin K2 MK7 form, at least 100 mcg daily, and zinc 15 to 30 mg daily. These nutrients ensure vitamin D works effectively in cells while preventing side effects from excess calcium. Vitamin K2 plays a crucial role acting like a traffic director, guiding calcium to bones and preventing it from depositing in soft tissues. Dr. Coimbra stresses the importance of not relying solely on how you feel, but monitoring immune function markers, parathyroid hormone PTH levels, and regular blood and urine tests for calcium and magnesium. The body needs time to restore immune balance, a process not always perceptible intuitively. Even if you don't have an autoimmune condition or access to genetic testing, you can still take smart, safe steps to optimize your vitamin D status. Here are 5 actions you can start today. Increase morning sun exposure. Get 15-20 minutes of direct sunlight between 7:00 and 9:00 a.m. without sunscreen exposing at least 30% of your skin, arms, legs, face. Think of it as charging your immune system with nature's best energy source. Check and supplement magnesium. Magnesium is the key that unlocks vitamin D's potential. Without it, vitamin D gets stuck and can't enter cells. Natural sources include pumpkin seeds, leafy greens, almonds, and bananas, or use absorbable forms like magnesium citrate or glycinate. Incorporate vitamin K2, add K2 to your diet through fermented foods like natto miso or hard cheeses, or take MK7 supplements. K2 ensures calcium goes to the right places, preventing buildup in soft tissues when increasing vitamin D. Reduce overall calcium intake, especially from processed dairy. You don't need to eliminate calcium entirely, but prioritize sources like leafy greens or small fish eaten with bones rather than high amounts from industrial milk products. High-dose vitamin D amplifies calcium absorption significantly. Avoid factors that impair vitamin D receptors. Chronic stress, sleep deprivation, and persistent viral infections can weaken your body's ability to use vitamin D. Prioritize rest, deep breathing, and adequate sleep to reprogram your immune system. Dr. Coimbra sums it up with a powerful metaphor. Your immune system is like a tank capable of defending you through any battle. Without vitamin D, it's a tank without a driver, potentially turning its turret on you. But when properly guided, it becomes your loyal, silent, and reliable protector. You don't need to start with high doses, but start with the right understanding. If needed, seek out healthcare professionals trained in the Coimbra Protocol for a safe, tailored plan that could transform your life. Your body is always striving to heal itself. It doesn't need exotic solutions, just the essential elements to function correctly. Vitamin D is one of those foundational elements, and the beauty is you don't have to wait for illness to act. Start today with morning sunlight, a balanced diet, and listening to your body more closely while asking deeper questions. Dr. Cicero Coimbra's life mission isn't about fighting disease, but restoring the natural balance within each person. When the immune system is properly reprogrammed, it stops attacking the wrong targets. When vitamin D is optimized, you shift from merely surviving to thriving from within. The key takeaway is this: you have the power to understand your body, and the more you know, the greater your chance to change your life. Health isn't about luck, it's about daily choices, often small and subtle, that accumulate into profound differences. If you've learned something new about how the immune system works, or the link between vitamin D and disease, you've already taken a significant step. If you believe this information could help a loved one or friend, share it with them. You might be handing them a vital key they've been searching for. Consider subscribing to channels or resources that provide weekly insights like those inspired by Dr. Coimbra's work to continue receiving practical, transformative health knowledge. Remember, no food or nutrient is inherently good or bad, only used correctly or incorrectly. This is especially true for vitamin D, a powerful nutrient that requires understanding and proper guidance to unlock its full potential. When you understand, you lose fear. When you know how, you lose confusion. And when you act, you reclaim control over your health. Notes on translation and adaptation. Name adjustments. The original text mentions Cicero Coimbra and variations like Coimbra or Coimbra. These are likely misspellings of Dr. Cicero Coimbra, a well-known Brazilian neurologist who developed the Coimbra Protocol. I corrected the name to Cicero Coimbra for accuracy and consistency. Localization. The University of São Paulo and Brazil were retained as they are specific to the context. Other references, like the University of California and Oxford, were kept as is, assuming they refer to well-known institutions, e.g. University of California, USA, and University of Oxford, UK. Cultural nuances. The tone was adjusted to be clear and engaging for an American audience, avoiding overly technical jargon while preserving the scientific and motivational essence of the original text. Medical terms. Terms like hypercalcemia, vitamin D, resistance, and specific nutrients, e.g. magnesium, K2 zinc, were retained in their standard English forms for clarity. Units and measurements IU, international units for vitamin D doses, and mg/mcg for other nutrients, were kept as standard in English medical contexts. If you need further refinements or have specific preferences for tone style or additional localization, please let me know.